We are at 10 o'clock. So good morning, everybody. My name's Craig Walden. I'm the Marketing Director here at Opus, and I'm joined today by Andrew Tucker, a Success Manager at Cirrus Response, and Julia Roberts here in the background helping me look out for questions and so on. If you do have any questions you'd like to raise, please pop them into the chat box and we'll pick those up at the end. And look forward to getting anything from you there that we can answer. So why are we here today? I think it's fair to say that there are still mixed messages regarding the future. I'm sure you're all aware the government roadmap out of lockdown was delayed by a month, and there's lots of talk about home working being said to continue after lockdown and after COVID in general. Deloitte this week announced that staff would be able to work wherever they wanted to when COVID restrictions were eased, and the government is rumoured to be considering legislation about making home working the default option, giving employees the right to request it. But I think it's fair to say that in some ways home working will still feature going forward, and hybrid working is likely for many people. For those of you that hadn't joined us on previous webinars, there are 3 other webinars that you can access from our website that relate to home working. So please feel free to jump on the website and look under our resources section under support. For those of you that don't know Opus, we are an end-to-end technology provider. We provide connectivity, communications, contact center solutions, which we're obviously focused on today. But we also provide IT services, document services, and security solutions. And with all of these services, we offer strategic direction, design, delivery, and life cycle support, because with many of these product areas, the products and the sort of marketplace are changing all the time. So it's not just a deliver and forget situation. We do partner with our customers to support them throughout the life cycle of their services with us. Again, if you don't know Opus, we are independent and privately owned. We're in our 30th year now. We are an engineering-led organization, and we offer a personalized lifetime account management, which is something you don't often get from other providers. There's a single number for all support issues. We offer guaranteed satisfaction, and we have on our website a published escalation path with phone numbers all the way to the owner of our business should you feel you need to escalate any issues. And we support 1,500 public and private sector companies across the UK and beyond. We partner with a range of best-of-breed partners. I won't list them all off, but you can get the gist of who we partner with there for all the different services. And one of those best-of-breed partners is Cirrus, who are helping us, supporting us with this presentation today. Cirrus are a strategic contact center as a service partner for Opus. Their solutions absolutely complement the portfolio of unified communication services that we offer. They are specialists in the contact center market. They are best of breed and agile leading edge technology providers, offering a truly omni-channel solution, which is absolutely secure and reliable with 100% uptime so far. And the other thing we like about Opus is that they focus very much on customer success like we do. And testament to that is the fact that we're joined by Customer Success Manager Andrew Tucker today, to whom I'm going to pass you over. Over to you, Andrew.
Brilliant. Thank you, Craig. Thank you very much indeed for that great introduction. And good morning, everybody. So welcome to the webinar for today with myself, Andrew Tucker, and Craig from Opus, where we'll be looking at a blueprint for hybrid working in contact centers. Bit of a buzzword. We've moved from the COVID environment with all of those uncertainties and unknowns and the activity that surrounded that. How do I make sure my business can actually deal with customer inquiries when I have my workforce spread remotely, and the challenges that faced? And as we moved through that environment, the dust settled a little bit and we started to be able to focus on productivity, efficiencies, and then the core KPIs that drove success within the contact center environment and all of the technology that surrounded those edges. So we've had a significant amount of time to adjust to this particularly unstable environment. And now the buzzword that we hear on the street, so to speak, not only from our clients, but from our partners, is hybrid working. So how do we empower businesses to actually get the most out of that flexible environment? So that's what we're going to address today. And for that, we've got an agenda. Here we go.
I'm sorry, Andrew, I went a bit
early
on the agenda with there, wasn't I? I do apologise.
No, it's fine. Right, no, we're in the zone, Craig. Don't you worry. We have an agenda, and here we go. So, without further ado, let's quickly scan this. What do we know? What's going on in the real world? What are the businesses, our partners, and our customers telling us? And then, how are agents feeling? This webinar is principally focused on the agent, because it's about time, in my opinion, we concentrated our efforts on supporting that key worker in the contact center. We're going to look at the agent experience and then break it down into 5 principal areas where we know a business can focus to make a significant difference. Then, after that, we're going to have a Q&A session, and we'll move on then to how you can contact Opus and access Cirrus so that we can engage in a discussion about helping support you with this new hybrid model of home office working. Right, next slide, please. So what do we know? 5 points. I'm going to start with call volumes, top right. There's a lot of activity coming from customers and businesses and citizens and clients, tenants coming into a contact center, asking questions, follow-ups, requests. There is a tremendous amount of activity. Things have not quietened down as far as contact centers are concerned. And then we're going to move on to look at one of the key metrics that agents tell us is important to them, which is first contact resolution. The ability for an agent to be able to handle an inquiry on a single call or a single email or a single web chat. How do agents drive first call resolution so that clients don't have to call back? That's a hugely important thing that we're going to talk about in a moment. Also, multiple systems. COVID presented a massive challenge. How do I bring all of these new bits of technology into my business so that I can function efficiently? What ended up happening was you would apply multiple different systems which were very specific about delivering a key bit of functionality into your contact center. And guess what? Agents now looking at a mass of different systems to access and log into to be able to deliver their core experience. So it's a little bit of confusion. Then we're going to look at how manual processes are driving inefficiencies. So if we look at from an agent's perspective, manual process, accessing information, and also then how do they do things like shift swaps, request days off, all of those bits that go up to make an agent environment successful and supported. We're not just talking to customers. No, it's how do you as a business support that agent so that they can get on with their life. BAU life outside of talking to the customers. And then crucially and importantly, and this actually popped up quite late in the day in COVID, it was almost a forgotten thing, was how do we look after agents' well-being? In the long term, with all of the pressures that COVID placed on agents, one area which we are passionate about is how you can support them and identify areas where they're starting to feel under pressure or stressed. Agent well-being. So we've got quite a lot to cover, and each of these points can actually merit a webinar in its own right. And believe me, I know, because I really obsess over this stuff. So let's crack on. Next slide, please, Craig. Aha. Now, Cirrus has conducted some independent research asking agents questions about their experience, and we have some results. So this is direct from agents. We've cut out the middleman. We've not gone to managers. This hasn't been sanitized. This is what agents are telling us across multiple industries out from the mouth of babes. So we asked how technology will help agents. Actually, if you look carefully, there are some really quite interesting figures and trends that come out of this. Yes, 49%. Nearly half of all agents said that they would like more information about customers. Actually, that's quite an interesting thing to talk about, but that's not the telling stat here. 48 said they want to better serve customers. Good, because agents really care about what they want. They're in this to make customer experience better, and they want to provide a better service, or the best service that they can. Brilliant. So we're talking to people who are passionate about what they do. Now we get into the real nitty gritty. 42% said they want to handle more inquiries in a day. Hang on a minute. You want to be busier? Well, let's break this down. They only want to handle complex inquiries. There's a trend now starting to develop. I'd like to be busier, so I want to be productive, but I want more complex stuff. And then the one that stands out for me, 29% of the agents who responded and gave us information in our survey said they want to handle fewer questions. What, where, why, what? All of the basic style FAQs that make up a significant proportion of inbound contact center demand, they want to get rid of that and handle the important, the complex, the crucial, the critical, the emotional. So let's move on to the next slide. When agents were asked about how technology could actually empower them to provide a better experience, let's break that down. 20%, one in five agents said that they wanted to have better connections between the contact center and the other side of the business. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting to get into the dark arts of first call resolution. Stats show that approximately 70% of agents feel that they can handle and have enough information on hand to be able to deal with an inquiry and actually close it down. 30% of the information that they need is dependent on another department within a business giving them information. So if we look at the picture of first call resolution as an example, in this particular slide, we have 20% of agents saying they need a better connection with other parts of the business. They're looking for information that they cannot find. They're looking for an answer that they don't have to hand. They have to go out to another department to get it. There's a blocker, something stopping that flow of information between your business, other departments, and your contact center, slowing things down. Next, 33% said they want to handle inquiries across different channels. Now, you can see the picture because I'm sure most of you have had this experience yourself. You call up, you're in a queue, you think, I'm going to go over to web chat, ask the same question. You get frustrated, you send an email. And then when you finally get through, the agent that you talk to doesn't have access to see all of that interaction. So they're blind. So they'll spend the first 2 minutes apologizing about the situation, trying to calm you down, make you feel a little bit better before they can start talking to you about the issue at hand, because they don't have your conversational history. They don't. And 33% say agents want to be able to see that. And then 47, almost half of the agents have said that they want more information about the customer and more information about their history. You add this all up together, we're looking at disjointed systems which are disconnected and they don't present things in a single view. Again, we've got a little bit of a telling trend. Can I please have the next slide? Now, this is the last piece of agent feedback we're going to give before we move on to the meat and the bones of this webinar. Agent research, we asked what improvements must be made to software systems and processes. 58% of agents said, please give me a faster system so I can access customer details. Laggy systems that are slow to load, laggy systems that might be quite old and outdated, and you're sat there and you're waiting for something to appear on your screen, or you're having to jump from one system to another, is going to increase the amount of time, dead air, whole time, and please wait, please bear with me, I'm looking for that for you, that fluff that makes up AHT. Agents are saying they don't want to have to do that. They'd like something quick and responsive. Again, half, a little over half said they want more information on the customers. Why don't we provide it? If agents are saying this to you, give it to them. They want more to move between channels to understand the customer journey. I mean, we've seen this in the past 2 slides. Please, can I have an overview of everything? I don't want to be disjointed. I want the information at hand to be able to talk to the customer about the issue, not explain the system. Please hold, please bear with me. I'm looking for that now. Is really frustrating from an agent's perspective, especially when the customer is agitated, upset, or really just wants an answer. And so we're inflating the amount of time that it takes to be able to provide the key core experience to not only the agent, but the customer, because technology is slowing them down. Now, from a technology vendor such as ourselves, technology slow you down, can't be right. We know it because agents are telling us. And then 44% of agents are saying, please give me a system that doesn't crash. The ultimate, give them something that works. Next slide. So the agent experience itself, the key cog in the agent experience machine, the key person who is answering your queries to customers, basically is what's going to power positivity, productivity, and efficiency overall. So let's focus on them. Let's focus on your key staff in the contact center. You have a happy, supported agent who can deliver the best experience in a hybrid world. It could be 2 days in the office, so you can do cultural updates and important events, and then the rest of the time at home. You need it to be delivered from anywhere. So you've got to have flexible, reliable, joined up systems that provide the key core things that an agent needs to do their job, and well. Next slide. What do we do to get there? Let's break this down. Next slide, please. So if you look at the screen, there is a screenshot here of our Cirrus omni-channel system, which is natively embedded within a Teams environment. There, I've said it, Teams, connecting front office with back office in a single system. Then if you look at the omni-channel instance that we're displaying in this screenshot, you've got all your channels. You've got your web chat, you've got your email, you'll have a social media feed, and you'll have phone presented in an intuitive system that agents can navigate, which will give them the holy grail of customer history and a single pane of glass, all in one. What does that mean? Single sign-on. I am not spending the first 15 minutes of my day logging into multiple systems. Hey, and guess what? If I go away on holiday for 2 weeks, my passwords have expired, or I have forgotten because I have gone away and not thought about work, I don't have to ask IT to reset my passwords on multiple different systems, which slows them down too. Cirrus, we are entirely cloud-based and we have an incredibly light footprint, so it's easy on bandwidth. So you don't have to have hardwired, mega fast connections into your agent's environment at home to be able to function. No, you can get away with light bandwidth. So light footprint, single sign-on. It's also easy to use. We've designed Cirrus expressly for contact center agents. Now the admin functions and all of the people who do the back end work, they can have a more complex system to play with, but you want the agent experience to be intuitive and something which reflects the type of features they would use in their daily life. So it looks like an inbox and it functions in a very text-rich, easy to explain and accessible way. We don't do gimmicks. We do practical, usable features that agents need to keep in contact with your customers, meaning it's easy to train out, less resource, it's easy to pick up, and it's intuitive to use, and everything is there in a
Please bear with us. This is live, as you can see, and Andrew looks like he's having some internet difficulties at the moment. Hopefully he'll be back with us shortly. You're back. We lost you for a while.
Guys, hey, I'm really sorry about that. My entire headset just died. I've got to apologize. So I've had to, on the fly, use a backup. So we're back. Right, so they've got everything in a single application, panic over. And this is entirely cloud-based. So they can move from location to location with your permission, obviously, so they can work remotely. Now, next slide, please. Supporting them from wherever they are. Okay. So we've talked about the ability to give them a system that works in a hybrid environment and reduces the amount of different logins that they need. Okay, that's great. That speeds up efficiencies and makes their agent experience already better. But what about the nuts and the bolts of actual managing their shift? Can I request holidays? What shift can I swap with? I need to take my break at a different time. The really nitty-gritty elements of approving breaks, mixing shifts, asking for holidays, which are traditionally handled by requesting to a supervisor, really inefficient and isn't particularly flexible. You put a decent workforce management tool in place with cloud-based applications, and they can manage their own time more efficiently. This, in a larger contact center, is an absolute game changer. It empowers agents through adaptive uses of efficient technology, the ability to handle their own time. So your service levels are not compromised through inflexible Excel forecasting. These are systems that are readily available, a plug and play, and work seamlessly with Cirrus. So they can prefer, schedule, recommend. They're able to do shift trades and request holidays. They can check overtime availability. The system is rule-based. It gives instant decisions. And based on actual ROI research, the system will pay for itself within 12 months. Imagine an agent being able to handle their own actual timetable at a micro level themselves without bogging down requests to supervisors or requests to external departments. This stuff makes a huge difference. You're asking more for your agents, then let your agents manage the time, and the system will give them the autonomy to make sure your service levels are maintained, supporting them from wherever they are, but making sure you are delivering as a business your critical services and systems and the experience that your customers, tenants, and citizens require. Next slide, please. Well-being. I am passionate about this. We're going to very briefly touch on speech analytics. And speech analytics, a bit of a buzzword at the moment. How can we tell what our customers are saying to us? Are we able to look for those nuggets, that information, those call drivers? What type of stuff are they talking about so that we can handle the customer experience better? We're going to turn this on its head. We're going to look how speech analytics can help support your agents. How are they doing emotionally? Is their emotional condition improving or worsening over time? What type of language are they using? What type of efficiencies are they experiencing through system lag? Are you able to pick up on things like, please bear with me, my system's slow. I'm not having the easiest time to log in right now. Are they
My
strong?
headset stopped working. Yeah.
Well,
I'm just saying that one of them may be your headset's not working. I'm being
one of them may be your headset's not working, whatever
sorry.
it may be. I thought, where did this voice come from? How do we use speech analytics to focus on supporting the agent experience? It's a really powerful tool, and people often overlook that with the right application, you can show how you can support your agents and actually catch issues before they turn into a real problem. Don't save everything up for that quarterly review. Track it over a short period of time to step in to be able to say, I can see you're suffering, I can see you're having an issue, let's take some intervention so that you can get your mojo back, so to speak. Now, this improves for other parts of the business the ability to quality monitor, Q&A, and score far more efficiently because you're letting the system grade the calls. And of course, there are other parts of ROI. You'll listen to everything rather than just the 1 or 2%. But crucially, how do you use it to support your agents? This I am passionate about. It's a game changer. Next slide, please. Aha. First call resolution. Everything in the same window. I can see all of the conversational history across whatever channel that customer has decided to use. That is hugely powerful. I've called twice, I've emailed 3 times, and I've tried to chat to people twice. Show it to the agent so they can actually get to the root cause. Rather than spending the time explaining and apologizing, give them the tool that helps them see what that customer has gone through to get to the point where they are. Back it up with a strong knowledge base. Click answer, simple, canned responses, company policy, frequently asked questions at their fingertips so that they don't have to jump on disparate systems to try and find the information. Give collaborative back office and supervisory support. So if they need help from a different department, they can easily reach out, and don't put that as a blocker. We're all talking about the technology developments and excitement that Teams is bringing. And what that's doing is actually allowing other parts of the business to access the type of technology that good contact center applications have had, such as ours, for a long time. Let the rest of the business benefit by giving them access to the type of information exchange and collaborative tools that contact centers are used to, and this will speed things up. So that whole 20% of agents say they can't get what they want quickly from the back office, you can reduce that. Don't let the rest of the business be a blocker to driving and supporting the agent experience, and then customer experience and satisfaction, and give them access to all channels. Once they're in a position where they can handle these inquiries, let them do it. Next slide, please. Automation. Right, so we looked in our agent research, they said 29% of agents said, actually, I want to handle fewer questions. Well, when, why, how, what? There is a significant amount of demand that comes into a contact center, which is the basic, repetitive, simple questions that you would want an automated web bot, chat bot, or a good bit of AI to be able to handle on the behalf of the agents, so you can effectively filter out that noise and traffic and automate it. Refunds, back-end processes, repair updates in social housing. How do I, when can I let the bot take the strain of that and then pass down the inquiries that need complex human interaction? There's a lot of talk about robotic process automation and how AI will revolutionize the world. Be really forensic and strategic with how you deploy it is one piece of advice that we give to our customers, and actually let them handle the grunt work, because ultimately, regardless of how good your technology is, from an AI perspective, the realistic view in the marketplace is there will be very few companies that will take that, embrace that, and deploy that to its full extent. But the elements in which it excels, the more basic approach of it, can I access my refund? Where is my update? Connecting to a back office system to allow that flow of information without having to let the agent do it, it works incredibly well. Break down the nuts and the bolts, take away that repetitive, constantly asked stream of questions away from the agent so that they can focus on their emotive, critical, and high value interactions that really make the difference between a superb customer experience and a poor one. So you have access to the same knowledge base that agents use, which can then drive good answers through a chatbot. You've got the robotic process automation because we know the type of questions that are coming through. 80% of demand is the same top 20 questions. Let's help drive that through automation. It then lets your agents focus on the real stuff. We can then start deflecting some of the calls over to digital, because rather than answering them through voice traffic, you can need to answer those, and you can answer those digitally. And then, of course, you're building your rules, your intents. This is quite simple stuff, but when broken down, to make sure you're providing the bare basic capability to a business, it can be absolutely superb. We don't overpromise, but we certainly deliver a functionality through robotic process automation and AI that is going to help take the strain away from agents. And that frees them up to do the work that they want to do, and they're telling us that they want to do. So we've covered 5 very distinct points of interest here that make up a better picture for a hybrid working environment. So I'd like to summarize now. So next slide, please, Craig. So put the agent, sounds like I'm making a demand, but actually, quite frankly, after COVID and the pressure that agents have been put under, we've noticed that yes, focus should be put on the agent because they are delivering absolute core experiences to your customers. So focus on getting their environment right. The 5 areas that are important is agile, flexible, light touch, cloud-based systems so they can move more freely and then truly work in a hybrid environment. The speech analytics tools that allows you to track emotional well-being. And then obviously the other benefits that that will bring to the business when used to look at the customer experience. But the agent experience for me is key here. Give them an omni-channel system that will allow them to see everything in a single pane of glass and help customer inquiries in their channel of preference and choice. Single pane of glass, customer history. Add the elements of automation into that mix so that you can take the heavy lifting away from the agent so they can focus on the truly deeply satisfying and emotional connections that they're trying to make with customers to drive that first call resolution as well. And then make sure you underpin it with cloud-based, easy access workforce management tools so they can manage their time more efficiently, both on the phones and off. So if we look at those 5 elements, that's going to give a solid foundation for a truly hybrid working environment. Now, you might think this is actually a lot to take on. Well, that's where Opus steps in. Opus has a huge amount of experience. You've heard Craig, 30 years in this business of carefully supporting businesses to get the most out of the technology that's available. You've seen the list of partners that they have at their disposal, the right piece of technology to fit your needs. Talk to them. We don't have to boil the ocean. There are elements, and this is the same approach that we take. You take one step at a time. You identify the challenge, and then you take a phased approach to be able to deliver it. So we work on a risk-averse system of deployments to make sure that your business wheels keep turning to deliver better efficiencies. So we're not saying rip up the drains and start from scratch. No, but we are saying talk to us, because the experience we have across industries and the feedback that we gather from agents means that we're able to support you to come up with a hybrid system that really delivers results. Now, I think that's probably enough from me at this particular point. I apologize about the headset malfunction, but I'm working from home and I was able just to flip from one system to another quite quickly. Technology, you use it to your advantage rather than obsessing over it. So without further ado, I'd like to hand you over to Craig to see whether or not we have any questions.
Thank you, Andrew, and thanks for resolving the technical issue there. Let's flip on to the questions page. Let's see what we've got in the panel there. So if anyone has any questions, we've got someone coming in here. I've got a question that says, does that include CRM? From Chris. I'm not sure at what point that came in. Did you spot that, Julia? So Andrew, can you expand on how we integrate with CRMs?
Absolutely. So natively within the Cirrus omni-channel product, we have a mini CRM. There is a mini CRM which allows you to maintain effectively a database of your customer, their preferences and their contact choices. But obviously, we want to make sure that your business is connected. So we are an open source API business, meaning we're able to connect to multiple and different CRM systems. And we have out of the box application connections to the big names as you would expect here. Salesforce's, Microsoft Dynamics as two big names, but we also work with independent and individual businesses at a bespoke level to make sure we can deliver the type of integration and connectivity that drives results. Because integration is quite a big word. It's what style and depth of integration you're trying to achieve. Because we could be just talking data scrapes so that the agent knows what they're talking about. Or it could be a deeper piece of integration into a payment resolution system. So we might be talking about taking a payment and then helping the reconciliation in the background. We're able to do that, we've delivered, that's fine. But let's have the conversation, let's see what systems, let's open the bonnet so we understand what's involved, and then we can map the journeys that are necessary. And that's where Opus and Cirrus's experience can step in to help you with that. Short answer, yes. Long answer is talk to us.
Yeah, let's. We can follow up with you there, Chris, and find out a bit more. It's generally about finding out what you're trying to do, and then we can help advise what the best way is to do that. For a couple more questions, how does the speech analytics work? That's quite a
broad one. Okay, so potted summary, speech analytics 101. So the data we capture on our voice platform is effectively fed into the speech analytics platform where it's transcribed. And then using search packs, industry specific and business specific search packs of words, it recognizes and applies the dynamic reporting around, I've seen this many instances, this many words, and then turns that into actionable data. So it's taking voice data, preferably stereo, which is what our platform provides, stereo capture, which is then fed directly into the speech analytics platform. They can transcribe it and do analysis from there. That's very top level. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, happy to again speak with you, Sonia, if you need a bit more. It looks like using a Zoho CRM there, and it looks like we can connect. So there, thanks for sharing that. The other questions I've got here, can your speech analytics distinguish between hold and mute?
Okay, that sounds like
up to no good there.
That comes from a contact center person. Yes, because hold and mute, it's literally dead air, right? So the speech analytics, sorry, I don't know what you're trying to look for, but let's use this in a positive way. It's dead air, it's silence. So the phone system, because you have, I've got hold time, etc., you can report on that and that can be fed in. But it's the dead air that we're principally looking at, the moments of silence. And so, yes, straight out of the box, you'll be able to see on how many calls and what agents, etc., the amount of silence time. is involved in that particular conversation, you can report on that matrix. What you decide to do with that is down to you, but you'll immediately see the amount of dead air, whether that's split between hold or non-hold dead air. You'll be able to see that straight away. Yes.
Brilliant. And looks like possibly a final question on the speech analytics. Obviously, picking up a lot of questions there. What does it cost?
Really good question. That's definitely one that we need to involve Opus with. So let's have a commercial conversation around that. But what I will say is we use a consumption model. And this is very different from the speech analytics landscape that we know exists. You only pay for what you consume. Why is that important? Businesses often go through spikes in demands and trends, right? So one month you might have extreme call traffic, the next month you might not, for example. So why are you paying for a static absorption of minutes that you're not consuming? And another thing that we know to be true, when businesses, especially the medium, smaller businesses, start to put bits of kit like speech analytics in, there is the onus for somebody within that business to do the analysis and report back. The system will feed you all the data, but you've got to do something with it, right? And so at least having the bandwidth to be able to say, I've got a significant amount of data based on a consumption model, ramp it up one month, tone it down the next, gives you that space to say, I can now spend some time looking at the results and applying the learnings and feeding it back. So a consumption model is how we approach that. Get in contact with Opus and we can discuss the commercials, obviously, in a finer detail based on volumes and the size of your business.
Thanks, Andrew. I think that's it for the questions. So just next steps, we will be sending out a copy of the slides and a link to the recordings. I know somebody was having a problem with the screen freezing, they've reported, so they'll be able to watch the recording that we send a link to after. If you've got any feedback on the webinar or any other topics that you'd like us to cover, we're more than happy to hear that. And we did say that anybody that attended the webinar was eligible for a free trial of some speech analytics. Andrew, could you provide a bit more detail on how that would work?
Absolutely, yes. Again, so free trial, the gift that keeps on giving, right? So we have the ability, should people show an active interest in offering a free trial of the speech analytics functionality. So a summary of how that would work is that contact Opus, we identify a very distinct outcome-driven set of results that you're interested in, we'll ingest the data. Obviously, we can go through the InfoSec security questions and answer everything that's necessary to be able to make sure that the business is happy, because it's entirely UK-based. We're not going to put the data over in the United States. For example, it's an entirely UK-based analytics-driven system, meaning we can ingest the calls and then we can analyze them over a set period of time, turn them around, show the results, give you then access to the system so that you can use it in anger and play with it to make sure that you're happy with how it works. And then if you want to discuss commercials going forward and take it, great. If not, you walk away without having committed anything commercially. But talk to Opus and we can set that up.
Sounds like a great offer. Thank you, Andrew. And generally, if there's anything we can help with contact center wise, please book a discovery day. We're happy just to talk to you about what you're trying to achieve and any pain points you may be facing at the moment, and offer advice and help as where needed. So please get in touch and we can help you there. So thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Andrew, for your lively input again, and look forward to catching up with you very soon. So have a good day, everybody. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.